Parents need vital solutions for sibling rivalry because every family deals with the age-old drama of who got the bigger slice of pizza or who gets more screen time. These everyday conflicts between siblings are natural, but they can overwhelm parents who just want peace at home. Childhood battles help children develop future relationship skills. Child psychologists have found that neutral parents who set clear ground rules help build healthy conflict resolution skills. Research shows that simple strategies work well. Spending quality time with each child can substantially reduce rivalry that comes from comparison and emotional insecurity. This piece offers proven psychological approaches that turn sibling conflicts into chances for emotional growth. You will learn expert-backed techniques to create lasting harmony in your home. Understanding sibling rivalry from a psychological perspective. The sort of thing I love about sibling relationships is how competition between brothers and sisters comes from deep-rooted developmental factors and survival instincts. Child psychologists see these dynamics as complex psychological processes that shape children's emotional and social growth, not just household squabbles. The evolutionary basis of sibling competition. Sibling rivalry naturally emerges as children compete for limited parental resources. Research shows siblings mainly fight for attention, validation, and recognition within their family. This competition goes beyond material things. It's about getting vital emotional and physical support. Studies on genetic connections show that conflict levels change based on biological ties. Research in evolutionary psychological science found non-biological siblings had the highest conflict levels, while full biological siblings showed middle levels of conflict. Half-siblings reported the lowest conflict levels, which went against some theoretical predictions. This survival-based pattern matches what psychologists call strategic niche specialization, where siblings develop different qualities to cut down competition. Kids try to build their unique identities and often think over interests that separate them from their brothers or sisters. To cite an instance, see how younger siblings might avoid soccer if their older sibling excels at it, just to dodge direct comparisons. Notwithstanding that, siblings still compete for special treatment. That's why Genesis, which researchers call founding stories of the Western psyche, has many tales about sibling fights over parental resources. On top of that, scientists have found that historically, kids with siblings close in age had higher death rates because they had to compete for basic resources. How brain development affects conflict resolution abilities. A child's brain growth substantially impacts how they handle fights with siblings. Young kids, especially toddlers, don't really get sharing and teamwork, and they can't control their emotions well. They also struggle to see things from their siblings' point of view during arguments. Kids get better at handling conflicts as their brains develop. Research shows early and middle childhood are tough times for sibling fights, but these decrease as kids become teenagers. Constructive conflicts help children learn key skills like listening and seeing others' points of view, ways to control emotions, problem-solving and negotiation techniques, compromise and teamwork skills. These mental changes don't happen all at once. Since siblings usually have different ages, their varying growth stages create gaps in how they handle conflicts. Child psychologists say sibling fights give kids valuable chances to practice solving problems, skills that work better with friends than those learned from parents. Normal versus concerning rivalry behaviors. Child psychologists separate normal rivalry, which helps development, from worrying behaviors that need help. Studies show normal sibling conflict happens often, with fights breaking out up to 8 times every hour. Research keeps finding certain patterns in healthy sibling relationships. Normal rivalry usually involves fights over personal stuff rather than parent attention. Many studies with kids of different ages show that sharing personal items causes most conflicts, while fighting for parent attention happens least. Gender affects conflict patterns. Studies show same-sex siblings fight more than opposite-sex siblings, and brothers fight the most. Siblings close in age also tend to clash more often. Some behaviors signal serious rivalry that needs professional help. These include ongoing patterns of harm where one sibling has power over another. Research links serious sibling bullying to doubled risk of depression and self-harm in early adulthood. A 2021 study connected sibling bullying to lower confidence, life satisfaction, and self-worth in young adults. Psychologists stress that normal rivalry involves short-term conflicts that decrease with age. Worrying behaviors show patterns that get worse without resolution, where one child always wins and another loses. These patterns need solutions that psychology recommends to prevent lasting damage and encourage healthier relationships. Developmental stages and how rivalry changes. Children's sibling relationships change as they grow through different developmental phases. Child psychologists have found patterns in how rivalry evolves from toddlerhood through adolescence. Each stage brings unique challenges that need different approaches from parents. Toddler and preschool rivalry dynamics. The earliest years of sibling relationships show what psychologists call a dog-eat-dog period. Young siblings fight often and can't resolve conflicts well. Parents need to step in frequently to manage disputes. Research shows that siblings can fight up to 8 times per hour at this age, making this stage tough for families. Toddlers show rivalry because they don't understand sharing, can't control their emotions well, guard their space and belongings fiercely, compete for their parents' attention. A new baby's arrival creates a difficult transition for toddlers who feel jealous and displaced. A child psychologist explains, your toddler might start to become more possessive over his space, his toys, and your attention. These are all things that define who he is, so he might feel more threatened by his little sister playing with his favorite toy. Elementary age competition patterns. Elementary school brings what developmental psychologists call a tit-for-tat mentality. Children start understanding fairness and reciprocity better. They need less help from parents than they did as preschoolers. Elementary-aged siblings usually share based on you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Create basic rules for fairness. Compete over grades, activities, and social status. Choose different interests to avoid direct comparison. Research shows that early sibling jealousy associates with poor relationships later in childhood. So many experts focus their solutions on this key period. Older siblings often become teachers and leaders to younger ones during elementary years. Younger children become learners. This natural power dynamic can create tension when younger siblings start becoming more independent. Teenage sibling rivalry solutions and unique challenges. Many parents think rivalry gets worse in teenage years, but research says otherwise. Conflict does decrease into adolescence. It sort of levels off, says Mark Ethan Feinberg, research professor at Pennsylvania State University. Teenage conflicts focus more on independence, identity, and personal boundaries. Teen sibling dynamics are shaped by several factors. Teen brains have underdeveloped frontal lobes, the impulse control center, until about age 26. Their brain's reward center becomes more sensitive, making teens prone to impulsive decisions and reactive conflicts. Fights peak when the youngest child reaches early teens, especially in siblings close in age, 1 to 2 years apart. Younger teens often resist control from parents and older siblings while building independence. Teenage siblings argue about different things than younger children do. They mostly fight about equality and fairness, personal space, possessions, and friends. Solutions for teenage sibling rivalry work best through coaching rather than direct intervention. High school siblings develop an adult-like conscience and understand that hurting siblings is wrong. With guidance, they can resolve conflicts on their own, something younger siblings can't do. Sibling rivalry follows predictable patterns as children develop mentally, emotionally, and socially. Parents who understand these age-specific patterns can use solutions that experts recommend for each stage of development. Root causes child psychologists identify in sibling conflicts. Child psychologists have found several deep-rooted factors that accelerate sibling conflicts beyond normal growing-up friction. Parents can tackle these core issues with effective solutions instead of just dealing with rivalry symptoms. Attention-seeking behaviors. Family therapists see competition for parents' attention as one of the strongest triggers of sibling conflict. Kids who don't feel noticed often act out to get their fair share of attention. Research shows these attention-grabbing tactics show up more during family changes, especially after a new baby arrives. This creates a tough cycle for parents. Kids quickly learn that bad behavior gets faster responses than good behavior. A child psychologist explains, children might find that disruptive actions work better to provoke a response from parents, even if it's negative attention. These patterns show up in specific ways. Regression to earlier developmental stages, bedwetting, baby talk, or excessive clinginess. Dramatic emotional displays, exaggerated meltdowns, shrieking, or refusing meals. Direct aggression towards siblings, hitting, taking possessions, or deliberate exclusion. Passive-aggressive tactics, subtly undermining siblings or parents. Research shows that attention-seeking behaviors affect family dynamics beyond the immediate conflict. They add to parents' stress, frustration, and potential burnout while damaging sibling relationships by causing rivalry or competition for parental attention. Identity formation and differentiation. Psychologists see identity development as another key driver of sibling conflict. Siblings face what researchers call the lateral challenge, finding their unique place among similar others. This identity formation centers around separating themselves from their siblings. Adlerian theory suggests that sibling rivalry comes from each child's need to overcome feelings of inferiority. Siblings often develop different personal qualities and interests to avoid direct competition. Psychologists call this de-identification. Research shows 75% of twin pairs actively sought to be different during their college years, seeing it as the optimal time to pursue unique identities and goals. This separation serves multiple psychological purposes. De-identification processes play important developmental functions, such as when adolescents differentiate themselves from a sibling who is using alcohol or other substances. It also shields younger siblings from unfavorable comparisons with older ones. Studies across cultures show this identity formation happens most strongly between siblings close in age and gender. Kids actively magnify differences with siblings and minimize similarities to establish their unique place in the family. Power struggles and hierarchy establishment. The third major source of sibling conflict comes from setting up and keeping power hierarchies. From nature's viewpoint, conflict over limited resources drives sibling rivalry, with one of the most common sources of sibling conflict arising from relative power. Birth order shapes these power dynamics. Long-term data shows that older siblings tend to have a more dominant role, although this dynamic decreases during adolescence. Firstborns usually take leadership and caregiving roles, while secondborns become learners and followers. These natural power differences often spark conflicts as younger kids grow and challenge existing hierarchies. Studies reveal that siblings who score higher in dominance also showed more Machiavellianism, extreme competitiveness, and detached sibling relationships. Parents' response to these power dynamics affects how intense they become. Kids see the acting out sibling as the person in charge when parents don't set clear boundaries. But power struggles between siblings usually decrease when parents keep control while holding kids accountable. These three root causes, attention-seeking, identity formation, and power dynamics, create the foundation for solutions that psychology recommends for sibling rivalry. Parents can build healthier sibling relationships throughout childhood by targeting these underlying drivers instead of just reacting to surface behaviors. Expert assessment: when sibling rivalry becomes problematic. Child psychologists know that siblings will fight from time to time. The real challenge lies in spotting patterns that show rivalry has become a serious problem. Parents need to look at how intense these conflicts are, how often they happen, and what emotional toll they take. Warning signs that require intervention. Experts point out clear signs of unhealthy sibling relationships. We notice that daily conflicts disrupting family meals and routines need attention. Parents should watch for cases where one child becomes a repeated target of another. The balance of power between siblings is a vital indicator. Unhealthy rivalry shows up as a constant imbalance where one child always comes out on top. The younger or weaker sibling shows fear. Parents can't leave their children alone together. Fights don't end on their own. The emotional climate between conflicts tells us a lot about the relationship. That dynamics often show up in relationships that lack any warmth, especially when one sibling shows no empathy toward the other. Signs of planned cruelty or spite are major red flags. Dr. Colleen Drostek from Rogers Behavioral Health says families often get used to these bad patterns, which signals the need to step in. Effect on emotional development. Bad sibling relationships can shake up a child's psychological growth. A 2021 study linked sibling bullying to adults feeling less capable, happy, and confident. Even more worrying, earlier research showed that bullying from siblings doubled the chances of depression and self-harm in young adults. Kids stuck in negative sibling relationships often develop poor self-worth and confidence. Problems finding their identity when siblings overshadow them. Higher stress levels. Less trust in their family. Of course, these problems don't stop with the targeted child. The aggressive sibling might carry these patterns into adult relationships, sometimes becoming violent with partners. The whole ordeal puts strain on parents who constantly try to keep peace. Studies show that the damage from sibling fights depends in part on whether kids share good moments too. Fighting hurts more when siblings don't have any warm moments together. In spite of that, experts say some conflict helps kids learn vital social and emotional skills when balanced with positive interactions. When to seek professional help. Experts suggest getting professional help when troubling patterns continue despite parents' best efforts. Here are clear situations that call for expert help. Kids who stop hanging out with friends because of behavior problems need help. Violence between siblings or fear of a sibling means it's time to see a professional. Parents should look for therapy if their strategies don't improve things. Dr. Jamie, who specializes in trauma therapy, suggests getting help when toxic behavior leaves lasting scars. These poisonous shared experiences can create negative relationship patterns that stick. Professional help becomes essential when siblings keep acting manipulative or dishonest despite correction. Family therapy works really well in these cases. A good family therapist can assess your family's unique situation and create custom solutions. This investment often pays off by teaching clear ways to resolve conflicts, skills to manage emotions, how to see others' views, ways to set healthy boundaries. Professional support through counseling or family therapy provides vital help when regular solutions don't work. Getting outside help might feel strange at first, but it's often the best way to fix damaged relationships and avoid long-term problems. The mediator approach. Psychologists recommended intervention techniques. Child psychologists recommend intervening between quarreling siblings as one of the most powerful tools to promote healthy conflict resolution skills. The mediator approach gives children lifelong relationship skills and addresses immediate conflicts, rather than just separating fighting children or imposing solutions. Creating a safe communication environment. A safe emotional space allows siblings to express their viewpoints comfortably. This structured environment comes from family therapy where siblings and parents can share their feelings openly. Therapists guide families to understand sibling dynamics complexities. Parental composure builds the foundations of this safe environment. My calm demeanor during heated sibling disagreements shows that people can resolve conflicts peacefully. The children feel a sense of tranquility from my calm energy during emotional turbulence. Research shows taking sides or showing favoritism undermines conflict resolution. The pause technique stands as the first vital step to establish safety. Experience taught me to pause before reacting, even when one child hits another. Everyone starts regulating their emotions in this brief moment before communication begins. Each child then gets space to express themselves fully, with hurt feelings, tears, and misunderstandings. The lifeblood of safe communication stems from confirming children's feelings. Parents learn through family therapy to acknowledge their children's emotions, which creates a safer space for open dialogue. This acknowledgement doesn't mean agreeing with problematic behavior. It just accepts each child's emotional experience as real. Structured conflict resolution protocols. Specific structured protocols turn chaotic sibling fights into constructive learning experiences. Children develop vital interpersonal skills while solving immediate conflicts. The stoplight method works as an expandable solution that groups conflicts into 3 levels. Green, minor disagreements. Children use I statements to express feelings without blame. Yellow, moderate disputes. Structured dialogue gives each child uninterrupted speaking time. Red, serious conflicts. Parents step in right away to ensure safety and calm things down. Child psychologists suggest a stepped approach for common conflicts. Listen to each child separately, then let siblings take turns speaking and listening. Reflect by rephrasing each child's words to ensure clear understanding. Empathize with each child's viewpoint. This step cannot be skipped. Problem solve by asking children's ideas before suggesting solutions. Affirm their conflict resolution skills with statements like, "You two are good friends. I know you'll work this out." The Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry published research showing regular emotional discussions substantially reduce sibling rivalry. Children learn to express their frustrations constructively. Teaching emotional vocabulary. Emotional literacy forms the foundation of conflict resolution. Children need help to express their feelings precisely beyond simple mad or sad descriptions. Parents should model emotional vocabulary development. My discussions about feelings use varied terms like aggravated, frustrated, irritated, or furious instead of just angry. The family culture values and understands emotional nuance. Children must recognize their physical emotional cues. Developmental experts suggest, describe what you see. Your fists are clenched and your eyes are bugging out. On the inside, you must be feeling. What? This connects physical sensations with emotional states and builds self-awareness. Research proves children with strong emotional vocabulary ended up with better self-regulation skills. Understanding their feelings helps them learn appropriate coping strategies. They discover that all emotions work fine, while certain behaviors don't. Family therapy uses role-playing and narrative therapy to help siblings practice emotional vocabulary skills safely. These exercises build empathy, which psychologists see as vital to prevent future sibling conflicts. Cognitive behavioral strategies for managing sibling fighting. Cognitive behavioral approaches are a great way to get powerful tools that reshape sibling dynamics. These approaches target unhelpful thinking patterns and problematic behaviors. Research shows siblings fight up to 8 times per hour. These evidence-based strategies help maintain family harmony. Reframing negative thought patterns. Children develop cognitive distortions that make sibling conflicts worse. These thinking mistakes include all-or-nothing reasoning. My brother always gets his way. Personalizing, everything bad happens to me. And catastrophizing. This is the worst day ever because she took my toy. These patterns are the foundations of cognitive interventions. Children who recognize their unhelpful thoughts create better behavior changes. They learn that thinking something doesn't make it true, which gives them control over emotional reactions. To cite an instance, a child who changes their thinking from "my sister ruins everything" to "sometimes we disagree about what to play" shows less hostility and finds better solutions. Understanding evidence matters more than just spotting distortions. Children who learn to ask, "Is this thought really true?" develop better critical thinking skills. This approach helps perfectionist children who worry too much about making mistakes. Behavior tracking and reward systems. Reward charts stand out as effective cognitive behavioral tools that improve sibling interactions. These charts work best when they focus on positive behaviors instead of punishing negative ones. Research proves that praising nice play reduces sibling conflict more effectively than punishing fights. Successful reward systems need clear definitions of desired behaviors in positive terms. Use kind words rather than "don't yell." Quick reinforcement with stickers or points for positive behaviors. Meaningful rewards given promptly. Children's involvement in creating the system. Reward systems can succeed even when just one child shows problematic behavior. Family therapists point out that using the system with both siblings can motivate the challenging child through healthy competition. Self-regulation techniques for children. Children need emotional regulation skills as internal resources for conflict management. They must have real strategies to handle strong emotions during sibling disputes. Deep breathing exercises, designated calm-down spaces, and asking parents for help work well when emotions run high. Children also need help identifying emotions in themselves and their siblings. Many fights get worse because kids lack words to express their feelings. Teaching children more words beyond "mad" or "sad" leads to better communication during disagreements. Practice makes perfect. Role-playing potential conflicts helps children prepare before real situations arise. Parents should demonstrate healthy conflict resolution in their own disagreements. Research confirms that marital conflict and parental hostility affect sibling relationships. Building emotional intelligence to prevent future conflicts. Emotional intelligence is the foundation of lasting solutions to sibling rivalry. Parents can turn their home from a battleground into a training ground that builds lifelong relationship skills by promoting empathy and learning to see others' points of view. Empathy development exercises. Children don't develop empathy automatically. They need specific activities to cultivate it. Teaching kids to name and identify their emotions builds the foundation to understand others. Daily check-ins about feelings help children develop a rich emotional vocabulary that goes beyond simple "mad" or "sad" descriptors. Daily kindness activities build what psychologists call the empathy advantage. This trait improves life quality and predicts future success better than IQ scores. Kids learn vital life lessons about sharing space and working out needs when they read together, help dress each other, or share bath time. One powerful exercise lets children watch strangers in public places and learn their emotions from facial expressions and body language. Kids build emotional literacy this way without the pressure of direct conflicts with siblings. Perspective-taking activities. Kids develop enough cognitive ability to understand others' points of view by age 4 or 5. Parents can build on this by asking children what their siblings might think. "What would your sister say about this?" Or "How would you feel if that happened to you?" Role-playing helps build perspective-taking skills naturally. Siblings can swap roles during conflicts and wear each other's shoes to experience situations differently. Sound games where kids respectfully disagree about what they hear create natural chances to think about different points of view. Sibling rivalry solutions psychology emphasizes most. Child psychologists say structured positive interaction time works best. Family therapy suggests creating situations where siblings naturally connect with pleasant emotions. Family game nights that put siblings on the same team against parents create shared rather than competitive dynamics. Psychology's core approach replaces negative patterns with positive ones. Studies show that reward systems for genuine compliments between siblings cut daily arguments to one or none within a week. This method swaps old meat for new meat and triggers kindness instead of conflict. Long-term relationship building, beyond conflict resolution. Sibling relationships last longer than any other relationship in life, which makes bonding strategies vital. Children who share close bonds with siblings develop better social and emotional skills that help build positive relationships throughout their lives. Smart approaches can change sibling dynamics from rivalry into lifelong support systems. Structured positive interaction time. Dedicated time for siblings creates excitement and shows how much their bond matters. This approach helps replace negative patterns with shared ones. Family therapists say even 5 minutes of scheduled together time can make a big difference. Regular scheduling on the calendar makes structured time work best. Siblings who play pretend games often understand others' emotions better and come up with more creative play ideas. Parents should set up regular game nights, puzzles, art projects, or other fun activities so siblings can cooperate and bond. Collaborative projects that build bonds. Shared projects give siblings chances to work for common goals and encourage friendship instead of competition. These activities help siblings experience teamwork rather than rivalry and ended up deepening their emotional connection. Good team activities include making joint superhero characters that boost creativity and teamwork, kitchen time together where siblings learn recipes and take turns leading, creating escape room challenges that need communication and problem solving. Studies show these team-building activities reduce rivalry by a lot because siblings start connecting positive feelings with each other instead of conflict. Family narrative techniques that strengthen relationships. Shared family stories make sibling bonds stronger than just one-on-one time. Family kindness journals let siblings write down nice things they see each other do, which creates positive connections. On top of that, reading stories about friendship and working together helps reinforce teamwork values. These relationship-building approaches change lives way beyond childhood. Research connects warm sibling relationships to better health, more happiness, career success, and amazing resilience during tough times. People who have close sibling bonds show almost no negative effects from tough experiences like their parents' divorce compared to those without supportive siblings. Conclusion: sibling rivalry is a complex experience that molds children's emotional and social development. My work as a child psychologist has shown how the right guidance can turn challenging sibling dynamics into chances for growth. Parents create lasting positive changes in their children's relationships when they understand development patterns, use clear conflict resolution methods, and promote emotional intelligence. Early intervention makes a real difference. Children support each other throughout life when their parents build bonds through shared activities and positive interaction time. These thoughtful approaches help replace rivalry with genuine care and understanding. Perfect harmony isn't the goal. Learning to handle disagreements well matters more. Conflicts between siblings will happen, but your steady, calm guidance helps children develop vital relationship skills they'll use throughout their lives. Simple daily kindness exercises or structured game time can help build stronger connections between your children. Child psychologists see that siblings who learn to resolve conflicts and support each other have better mental health, stronger relationships, and more resilience in life. Building healthy sibling relationships takes patience, but your investment creates a foundation of mutual understanding that endures.